It's not even plugged in all the way to make me mad. Alright. He's been right there by my side. He's been right there by my side. He's been right there by my side. He's been right there. God has been right there. He's been right there by my side. Okay, I'm done. But what's up, everybody? What's going on? It's your girl, Destiny. And I'm back once again, guys, with another video. So, hello. It's been a long time. But I'm back. I'm going to address a lot of stuff. And I just want to, talk to y'all because I think it's really cool. I got this mic stand now. I don't got to bend over or nothing. Gosh, that's really been good. But I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, not too long ago. And they were saying, do you ever get nervous when it comes to, sharing, the good that's happened in your life in spite of all the bad? And she was saying, she didn't want to share because she was, scared of what people were going to say and what people were going to do. But then, God got her and was like, well, then what did I do it for? So that really hit me, and so we're back. I do want to start off by saying hi. Hello. It's been a long time, but it's not my fault. Well, it is my fault, but at the same time, it's not. I have been recording videos, but I have been trying to upload them and trying to process them through YouTube, but the upload keeps getting deleted, and so I was just like, you know what, forget it. I've had an idea to do something like this, not something like this, but this new segment. I've had this idea for a couple months, a month and a half now, and I said I wanted to start in October, and October is almost over, so the Lord was like, get it together, and basically, I have over an hour and a half of footage, and the Lord told me to delete it. And when it comes to this segment, I really just want to give people a space to share their journey, because I know I can easily share my journey with you guys, but I don't want my channel to just be about me, because y'all know I say all the time, we're overcome by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of our testimony. And I don't want you guys to just see my testimony, but I have a list of people that that I want to do with this whole becoming ... series, which is actually what this is called. But I've been struggling for a little bit, and I'm gonna get into it later. But I was oh, how do I get someone else to come onto the channel? All I really have to do is ask. But I was like, well, Lord, I don't really feel like you really want me to do it anymore, because he ain't said nothing. So I'm I don't want to move if you don't want me to move, Y'all excuse my voice. I sound terrible. But we're gonna keep going. And then I was like, well, Lord, who do you want the first person to be to do the becoming ... And then the Lord was like, you. And I was like, me? And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm gonna try not to cry to get through this, but welcome to the new segment of the channel called Becoming ... and then becoming whoever. So obviously this video is gonna be titled Becoming ... Destiny. Nah. But yeah, this is gonna be Becoming Destiny. So literally, just to give you guys a little bit of background about me, I was born and raised in church. The Apostolic doctrine. We believe there's only one God, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, in us all, through us all, and above us all. And I really hope y'all can hear me and that I'm not screaming at y'all. But I'm gonna give myself a little boost, a little boost, because my voice is shot. It's done for. But yeah, I'm apostolic. I guess if you don't have the book Freedom, you really need to go get it and go read it, because it's going to make this process go by a lot faster. But I was very first introduced to like the Lord's voice when my grandfather passed. I remember like my dad telling us like, oh, you get saved, you can see him again in heaven. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get saved. And so like I just started tarrying and actively seeking the Holy Ghost because I wanted to see my grandfather again. I was about 7 or 8, and then the Lord spoke so clear, and it was my first time like hearing the Lord's voice, and he was like, seek me for me. So this time around, like I was like, all right, Lord, like I'm gonna seek you for you. So a lot of people think that like I was just always this confident. I've always loved myself this much, and that's totally not the truth. I grew up as the only girl in the household. So this really has nothing to do with anything, but I'm the only girl. So I remember one point in my life that I have shared and I've went into detail about confidence. I hated myself. Like every time I passed by a mirror, I found a flaw. Like I have one dimple. This is like the easiest, literally the easiest example. I'm like, oh, I have one dimple. That's stupid. Normal people have two. You should have two. You should have two dimples, babe. Why you only got one? I used to be like, ooh, you ugly. And I don't know how a lot of people feel about this, but this is how I feel. Like how you view yourself is how other people is gonna view you. So if I think I'm ugly, I'm gonna like portray that I might not actually be ugly, but I'm gonna portray that I am. So y'all, it was bad. It was really, really bad. So like I hated myself, and then one night I got so tired of hating myself that it was late. I was crying. I went in the bathroom. I looked in the mirror, and I told myself like, every time you pass by this mirror, every time you start to be like, ooh, I hate this, or ooh, I hate that, you need to find a positive in it. So if I'm like, ooh, my freckles are white, and I'm like, instead of like dark, which are true, which is true. My freckles are white and not like dark brown or black or whatever. But it's because I'm of a darker skin tone, so mind your business. No, but as an example, it's just like, oh, like they're white, instead of being like, oh, like that's ugly, it's abnormal, it's different. It's now like, oh, it's beautiful. It compliments you, like finding the positive. I really didn't like my smile back then, but now y'all can't stop me from smiling because I love my teeth. I take pride in them too. So it's just stuff like that. I've also had like a lot of people just hate me or dislike me strongly for just being me. I've been in a couple of seasons of my life where I felt lonely or isolated, which, might I add, especially to the church kids, it's one of the biggest tricks of the enemy, because if he can get you to feel like you're alone and that you went through it, that you're going through it alone, you won't have the strength to go to talk to somebody else, even though 9 times out of 10, someone else has already been through it. So, to the person who feels lonely, you're not alone. I am not alone. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I know there was this one particular instance where this group of people that were close to me, I wasn't in the room, but they started speaking on my name, saying that, like, I think I'm something when I'm nothing, that I'm not a good friend, I'm, like, all kinds of stuff. And when I tell y'all, like, it really, really, really broke me, like, to the point where every night, like, I was laying in bed and I was crying. I was like, ah. And it got to the point where I was laying in the bed asking the Lord, like, questioning my worth and my value, like, because I no longer had friends anymore. So I was like, I remember asking the Lord, like, I'm the common denominator. So is it really something that I'm doing? And I remember feeling like that for a long time, for at least a year and a half. I just went through the motions, but I continued to like allow the Lord to develop me in different ways. But he couldn't develop me fully because I was so caught up in like I'm hurt, and like my heart was hurt. And so like not only was my heart hurt, but the only person that could heal me was God. The only person that could really like heal me and make it seem like the wound never happened literally was God. Like, that's how like deeply I was hurt. That's how like deeply I was wounded. To the point where like I laid in a bed. I was in depression. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to y'all. I was in depression for, like I said, like a year and a half. And it was just bad. But I remember like laying on the altar like not too long ago, and the message was about the Lord healing you. And then someone came and prayed with me and for me and was like, let the Lord heal you. And so like the more I began to like cry out to the Lord, the more he began to heal me, and the more he began to like literally like I could feel the Lord like sewing up my wound. I'll talk about how I feel about wounds later, but I just literally felt the Lord like sewing up my wound. So I try my best to be a good friend now. You know, obviously I wasn't the most perfect friend back then, but we've come a long way. I've come such a long, long way. So I'm so grateful to God. But through that experience, like the Lord showed me, like he put me on an elevator. All the people that I lost in my life, they were all on this elevator with me. And somebody was supposed to get off on floor 7. Somebody was supposed to get off on floor 5. And like I think it only went up to like floor 50. No, it was floor 30. The elevator only went up 30 floors. And so it was like, oh, they were supposed to get off here and here and here. But because all of us were having so much fun on the elevator, it was like, we were like, no, like you could just take the stairs back down, because the elevator only went up. The elevator didn't go down. Like, keep that in mind. And mind you, like, you know, we're at full capacity in this elevator. Like, dang, this thing is heavy, bro. Like, somebody gonna have to get off. But because we were having so much fun, we just kept making excuses like, nah, bro, like, you can just take the stairs back down. You know, because the only way to go back down was the stairs. So we were like, oh, no, like, just take the stairs. We're having so much fun. Like, why would you want to leave? You know, because when you're with your friends, like, the worst part is leaving. I'm sorry. But, like, that has to be, like, the worst part. So we were going, and then we got to floor 29, and nobody could go to floor 30 but me. So we got to floor 20. No, it's floor 27. I'm lying. I got to tell the vision correctly. We got to floor 27, and everybody was like, okay, like, if I don't get off now, I'm never going to get off. So they ended up getting off on floor 27. So I went from floor 27 to floor 30 by myself. And that's what the Lord was showing me, was I couldn't get to my next level of 28, 29, and 30, which was the highest level. I couldn't get there unless they all got off. So once I hit floor 30, all the levels to 100, like, just randomly pop. Like, y'all know in movies when it's just like, and it just, like, popped up. It just literally popped up to floor. It went from floor 30 to floor 100. But the Lord showed me, it was like, everybody can't go up with you. Everybody can't go to this next level with you. When someone was supposed to get off on floor 2, they were supposed to leave at floor 2, but you let them stay. So since you let them stay, the higher you begin to go up, you not only carried your own burdens, but you started carrying theirs too. And it wasn't for you to carry. You should have let them get off on floor 7 when they were like, oh yeah, I gotta get off. I gotta go do XYZ. But because you were having so much fun, instead of using wisdom and be like, oh yeah, bro, like, we'll just see you next time, you were enjoying their company because you were, number one, operating in the flesh and not operating spiritually, which has been a very big thing. And because you didn't want to seek help, you were just like, oh, y'all stay, because you were afraid of being alone. And then the Lord quickly reminded me, everybody can't go up with you. The higher up you go, the less weight you have to have. And like I said, the elevator was at full capacity. So everybody got off the elevator. Everybody but me. So that was one way that the Lord did heal my heart. And one way that he did, like, show it to me, like, yeah, you're going to be fine. But the reason you're feeling the way that you're feeling is because you didn't let go when I told you to let go. So there's that. And through that, I developed like a mini prayer life. Not mini, because I'm saved at this point. So I've developed a prayer life. I sing, but I don't know, sing. But after that vision, or after that, I started getting in the praise team. I started, singing every week, and I started doing all this stuff and singing at home and practicing at home. It just created this relationship with the Lord that I didn't, like, I knew it was possible, but it's really about something that you can only dream of. So then I'm graduating high school at this point. I get in college. Y'all know, if you've been watching from the beginning, I dropped out after my first semester of college, which y'all pray, because around this time was when I started like going through the motions, and then I quit. And like the enemy is really fighting me this time around, but I'm determined to get it done this time. But yeah, so I ended up quitting and dropping out of college. And it just got to the point where I felt inadequate, but at the same time, I knew that I was being called to greater, but I couldn't do it under the circumstances that I was under. And I kept telling the Lord, like, yeah, like, what if I took a break? What if I took a break? And then the Lord made it to where, like, I literally could not go back unless I paid, like, most of my tuition. And that tuition was over $5,000. And if y'all remember me saying, I told y'all like the Lord was going to pay my tuition. So keep that in mind. So January rolls around. Well, November, December rolls around, and the Lord put it back on my heart to like start doing YouTube. And I'm like, me, like nobody's going to listen to me. My life is boring. I swear, I swear my life is boring, at least in my eyes. But to a lot of you guys, like, you're like, oh my God, I really like your life. I really enjoy that you share yourself. Which I appreciate you, those who. That's really ugly. Okay, thumbnail. No, I'm playing. Like, I'm playing, but I'm for real. But to all of those who have, like, given me, like, their little testimonies or whatever, that really do my heart good. But when it came to doing YouTube, like, I had so many doubts. And then it was like the more I tried to do what the Lord said and proceed with YouTube, the more the enemy just began to fight me. And I was just like, okay. And then that's when everything happened on my job. Y'all gonna have to go back and watch the video because I'm not gonna get into it. This is when I worked at Subway. Did I say I worked? Yeah, anyway. I worked at Subway. Me and the manager got into it, and I wasn't here for it. And I ended up telling the Lord, like, I need a new job. I need a new car. Because I want to make more money, you know what I'm saying? Because I dropped out of school to make money to be able to pay for tuition. Because it was like, as a college student, as a freshman, every time I walked on campus, it was always an expense. It was always like, oh, there's a book. Or, oh, you need to buy this shirt. Or, oh, you need to participate in this. And you need to do this, that, and the third to be involved. But I was working at Subway. I was making good money for my age, but I wasn't making enough money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was making a decent amount of money, but I wasn't making enough money to be able to support where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. So I remember telling the Lord, like, man, what if I leave? And it was like every time I wanted to leave Subway, it was like the manager would come back and be like, oh, more hours opened up for you, more this, that, and the third. It was just the enemy trying to keep me where I was comfortable. But because I was scared to step into the unknown, I couldn't really prosper is how you say that. And I couldn't like excel to my next level because like I was comfortable. I was cool with my routine. I was waking up around 12, going to work around 3 or 4, staying until about 10. And I was chilling, you know what I'm saying? I was doing it over and over again, which is crazy. But it's crazy to me now. But I was like, okay, Lord, like I'm really going to do YouTube this time. So I was trying, y'all, and when I say I was trying, everything fell apart. Like, y'all know my story. If you watch, I think it's the first video, I finally got a new phone, and so I could finally do videos or whatever. The Lord taught me how to edit. He taught me how to make my YouTube intro. I had an idea of what I wanted in my head. He taught me how to do it, and then he taught me how to improve it. And I got another one in my head, so let's just hope this one comes to pass into fruition now, too. So yeah, I started YouTube, started doing that. I was chilling. Y'all know I was putting out videos every week, every Friday. I was consistent. I was consistent. And then it got to the point where I was starting school this time around. But I've been telling the Lord, like, I don't want no debt, you know, like, it's no secret to anybody that like I have a desire to be married. I have a strong desire to be a mother. I have a strong desire to be a wife, and I have a strong desire to have a partner, right? No secret. It's nothing I don't play about. It's nothing I don't play about, like joke around about, because one thing about me, I'm a crack a joke. That's just who I am. And I told the Lord, like, I want to get married with no debt, But everybody was like, oh, no, just apply for another loan. Just apply for another loan. I'm like, not another loan, a loan. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to pay no loan because the Lord going to pay my tuition. Anyway, I ended up messing around, forgetting deadlines or whatever. Ended up racking $5,000 in debt, a little over $5,000 in debt. I made probably like 3 or 4 payments on this, getting really discouraged because I told the Lord, like, Lord, you promised and you told me that you were going to do exactly what I asked and then some. So the fact that everybody around me is telling me to go apply for a loan, I'm going to go apply for one because I just feel like that's what you want me to do. And so when I went to go apply for the loan, couldn't apply for the loan. Everything got denied. And I'm like, so what did you present it to me for if you didn't want me to do it, right? And then I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go back to my original stance because always in the back of my mind, even if you watch the video, I said the Lord was going to pay my tuition. Long story short, about a month and a half ago, I got an email saying that there was some relief fund and there was some extra money into it, and either some or all of my tuition was paid. And I was like, man, they're playing. And it took me all day to even be able to get into into my email or whatever, because I don't even remember that password no more. So once I finally got into it, I looked at it and it was like, my balance is at 0.000. So I told y'all I was gonna pay it. And like I said, the Lord said, what did I do it for if you're not going to tell? So let me tell y'all, the Lord paid my tuition. I'm debt free. So if I get married, mind your business. No, I'm playing. See, that's what I'm talking about. I'll be playing too much. But yes, the Lord paid my tuition. God did it. Glory to God. And we appreciate it. And we bless God. So yeah, and remember I told the Lord I wanted a new job. I now work at a financial institution. I cut this out of every single vlog. I do not share where I work because, do y'all hear his phone? Anyway, I don't share where I work because I'm scared. Like I understand like the safety aspect of it. And how you're like, oh, you don't want people to know, this is that and the third. I'm not that famous yet, and mark my words. They just don't pay me. Don't pay me enough. They pay me well they pay me good, but they don't pay me enough to promote them outside of work hours. So outside of the hours of sometimes 8 or 8:30 and about 5:15, you're not going to catch me openly. That's how you say that. You're not going to catch me talking about them unless you ask me a question and you decide that you want my response, or you want not my legal knowledge, but you just want the knowledge I have in the field. I can't help you, gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you, but like, it's not because I'm scared. It's just genuinely because they don't pay me. Now, the day I get a sponsor from these people, baby, I will sell them because I genuinely love my company and I genuinely love the people that I have gotten to know, and I've genuinely love them. So if you're watching, hi, I miss you. It's been a while, probably. But yeah. So with starting YouTube, my slogan is, my little catchphrase is like, as humans, we're ever evolving and becoming, I'm just on the journey to becoming the best possible version of me, which is where the hashtag comes from. Hashtag becoming destiny. So, this whole time, I have always told myself, like, I want to remain teachable, especially at work. I want to remain teachable. I always want to learn something new, and I always want my life to be a living reflection of Christ. Now, let me put that in order. I want my life to be a living reflection of Christ, and I pray for that daily. And then I always want to remain teachable, and every day I want to learn something new. Those are my 3 goals that I keep for myself in work and outside of work. I know I'm going to mess up because I'm human. I've learned to give myself grace and be like, ugh, shake it off. Shake it off. You're going to have your bad days. You're going to have your good days, but your good days are always going to outweigh your bad. So I stick to the fact of I always want to be transparent and as transparent as possible. So I'm really trying not to cry, guys. Like, this is crazy. The past couple of months have just been so off for me. And you guys know, like, I posted every week. Even in training, when I was going through it, y'all knew everything that was going on, and it was in time. Like, it wasn't like, 2 weeks ago, like I recorded that video 2 weeks ago and now I'm just putting them out. Like, no, y'all, that was literally like real time, real talk. And whole time, like, I was doing good. And then I got into school and I was just like, oh, okay, it's the first week. I can just take the week off, give myself some grace, cut myself some slack. And I'll go back to recording videos, next week or whatever. And I'll go back to posting. Like, I'll start recording this week and I'll post it next week. So I took the week off and then I was like, I just didn't get around to recording. So I was just like, okay, I can post the next week. So this is the second week. In the second week, like, the enemy stepped in so fast and was like, nobody's even missing the fact that you haven't posted. Like, nobody really cares. It's really not worth anything because you're really not, like, helping anybody. You're not doing anything. Like, nobody cares because nobody watches videos. Like, do you see your views? Do you see your likes? And, but the Lord told you the number was X amount of numbers. Mind you, the Lord asked me, the Lord was like, how many subscribers do you need, to make sure that you're, like, satisfied and that you're comfortable? I asked the Lord for 100 subscribers, and that's what I wanted. And I was just like, yeah, Lord, like, just give me 100. I hit 100 subscribers. I cried the entire day. But the Lord was like, okay, you want 100, but I'm going to give you X amount. And so I'm like, be for real, bro. Like, be for real. And so when I hit 100, it was just like, wow, Lord, like, this is what I asked you for. And then to know that you're going to give me whatever the number that you promised me, which I won't share until I actually hit the number. I was just like, wow, like, that's crazy. So this time around, when I was just like, all right, like, nobody's even texting me like, yo, bro, like, where the video at? I had, like, a couple people here and there, like, telling me, like, bro, where the video at? And I'm just like, there ain't no video, son. Because, like, nothing in my life has happened. But, like, little did they know that, like, I literally have just felt, like, inadequate. And when I say inadequate, I mean inadequate, incapable, to the point where it was just like, bro, like, you should just, like, stop. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, like, I'll just leave YouTube there. This was just my reasoning for, like, taking a mini break. Was just like, okay, like, if you leave it there, people will start discovering the channel. And then, your views will go up and it'll be good. Because then when you come back, you'd be like, oh, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you guys, I really didn't have a desire to come back because I felt like there was nothing to come back to. Which is crazy because I have, y'all literally seen everything. But I literally just felt like inadequate. Like, literally, like, it didn't matter. Hold on. Yeah. I also felt very insecure. Sorry. I had to, like, look at my notes because I was like, if I say inadequate one more time. But I felt very insecure because, like, I share my life with you guys. Like I say all the time, I want my life to be a living reflection of Christ. I want to be able to help you, and I want y'all to be able to help me. Y'all share y'all stories. I share mine. Because I don't want to be so high and mighty and thinking, like, being saved and I can't reach a sinner. I don't want to be so saved to where I can't, not dumb myself down, but I can't relate to the sinner man, or I can't relate to the person on the other side of the camera. And I don't want to be so saved that I just, like, oh, feelings? Who? Because I'm not going to lie to y'all. I've had my heart broken before. I have, like, my friends and boys. Glory to God. like, I can't even sit here and lie to y'all like I haven't, because like I said, I have a desire to be married. So, I can't sit here and say that I don't have the desire to be married, because I do. I've had to learn that it's okay to have the desire to be married. It's what are you going to do with the desire to be married? I'm not even going to speak on that. But yeah, I felt insecure because I had the desire to be married. I'm like, dang, like, I'm going to be a terrible wife. I'm going to be a terrible mom. And this weekend has literally, like, brought me back to life. Not, like, brought me back to life, but it's really, like, put my mind back into the perspective that it was supposed to be a couple months ago. And instead of being like, that's ugly. That's ugly. You ugly. Instead of me getting in my word or me doing XYZ, I prayed and I was like still keeping my communication with God, but I should have been in my word more. I should have fasted more than I was, and it's just like, I just felt like dang, like I'm just not doing enough. It's like every time I like woke up, it was a new problem. It was a new issue. Every time I turn around, and I know like that's life. I know that's going to be my life for the rest of my life. Like there's always going to be something, but I just felt like I was like, all right, Lord, like these burdens are getting heavy. And I told the Lord, you're going to have to come and rescue me. And so I'm like, all right, Lord, like, I know you hear me. I know you see me. And I know that you won't, I know you won't forsake me. But in the back of my mind, I felt like the Lord had just forsaken me. I felt like he just forgot his promise, even though I tell myself all the time, let us hold fast to the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promise. I'm like, all right, he's faithful. He's faithful. He's faithful. I'm a worship leader. I'm out here, preaching to people, telling people, be not afraid, only believe. And in all actuality, it's me that needs to be not afraid and only believe. It's me that's over here that needs to, like, stand in the need of prayer. I'm kind of like the woman with the issue of blood. I've been bleeding for about a couple months, like, internally, but nobody ever knows. The only difference between me and the woman with the issue of blood is mine was more hidden. But the fact is, it wasn't sin. It's not the fact that, like, I messed up or I did something wrong to where the Lord just stopped talking or to the Lord stopped doing whatever he did, because the Lord had already told me what to do. The Lord had already given me the vision, kind of, sort of, but he just didn't want to finish it. It was the fact that I started operating in my flesh, waking up and I was like, social media, I'll scroll through social media. Like, I don't have an addiction to social media. I actually get on social media to pass time. Literally, because I just be bored. I just be sitting in places and I just be bored. So I pick up my phone and I just start scrolling through social media, when in all actuality, I could have been reading a scripture. I cannot tell y'all the last time I had a Bible streak, because of the simple fact that, like, I had my Bible streak at like 145, something. I missed one day and, like, I've never been back on there. But, like, it's the fact that I could have been doing more. And because I felt inadequate and I felt like the Lord wasn't hearing me and I felt like he was forsaking me, even though when I got to church, like, I was praying, I was telling the Lord everything that was going on, he became, like, he delivered me and he was my friend, you know what I'm saying? He gave me the strength that I needed to just make it through. But I told the Lord, like, I'm tired of just making it through. I'm tired of just, like, going through the same motions every day. I'm tired of, waking up and, like, feeling like this. Like, you're going to have to do it all over again. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know how I was talking about in the beginning, I was talking about wounds and how I felt like I was wounded and how the Lord had to, like, sew me up. The Lord, I think it was last night, the day before, the Lord was like, in your last season, like, the season before last, you were wounded. This last season, I was sewing you back up. And the Lord's like, let me back up. The Lord told me, he was like, you've been fighting a battle. You've been fighting battles. Now it's time to go to war. So I've been saying, like, let's go to war. Let's go to war. Right? So the Lord says, season before last, you were wounded. Excuse me. This last season, I healed you back up and I sewed you back up. This next season, you're getting back on the battlefield. But instead of fighting a battle, you're going to war. Let's go to war. So I've been telling myself every day, let's go to war. Let's go to war against infertility, which is something that I have really, really, really been praying over. I want to, like, publicly, I've already said this on Facebook, but I would definitely say it now. I want to publicly rebuke the spirit of infertility. Everything that God has placed inside of us, because we're so scared to say something due to rejection, due to fear, due to doubt, due to how people are going to look at me and how people are going to view me, the blood. No more. No longer. I've told the Lord for the longest, I don't want to be scared of my anointing. I don't want to be scared of who you called me to be. I don't want to be so scared of my anointing that when I'm given the chance and the opportunity to get the mic, that I can't open my mouth and properly give the people what you gave me because I'm so scared of what somebody's going to say. I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to do that no more. I can't be like that anymore because there's a certain people that are called to my voice. And if I don't open my mouth, their blood is on my hands because the Lord gave me the word for them. I'm like, Lord, I can't do that. I'm not doing that no more. So the blood against infertility. And I've been feeling this in my spirit to the mom who's a mother in her heart, but not a mother in real life. Baby, get the oil. Let's go to war. I'm sorry, but let's go to war. I gotta preach. Y'all don't wanna have no church. Glory to God. Anyway, no. But let's go to war. So when it comes to becoming me, it's war behind me. I've been telling the people that are close to me, like, it's war behind you because you mean so much to me and I'm always gonna fight for you. I'm always going to be right by your side, and I'm always going to be there because God's always been there for me. So as long as he gives me the strength to be there for you, I'm going to continue to show up. I'm going to continue to be the friend for you. Even though in the last couple months, if you're watching this, love you. I have done a really, really, really bad job of like keeping in touch with people and like just checking in on them. But that's because I've been going through myself. Even though that's not an excuse, because encouragement has always been what the Lord gave me to give other people. And there's been moments where here and there, like I'll say what thus saith the Lord, but I really just been keeping my mouth shut, to be honest. I just be like, ain't nobody listening to me. So, like I said, inadequacy, imperfections. The fact that this last season was really like holding up my blessings because of me, not because, like I said, not because I was sinning, not because I went out with some boy, lies, not because, what else is a sin that people talk about all the time? Not because I was lying, not because I was cheating, not because I was stealing, like none of that. It's just simply because I didn't have the mindset, and it's simply because I did not equip myself with the tools to be able to fight the war. I was fighting a war and didn't even know it. I'd be like, oh yeah, spiritual warfare, like it's a thing. And I'd be like, all right, Lord, like pull this stronghold down. But like I said, I told the Lord, like, you're going to have to come and rescue me. And it got to the point where the Lord was like, I'm not going to come rescue you. And like that broke me because I'm like, you hear me. Like, you literally see me. Like, I know you hear me. I know you hear how when it comes to praying, I can't pray like, dear Lord Jesus, thank you for this, and whatever. I have to pray in tongues because the Lord doesn't want the people around me to hear how much I've really been going through or how much I've really been struggling. He only wants it to be between me and him. And I'm like, bro, well, you want it to be between us, so you better do something about it. Like, be for real, bro. Like, do something. Like, come rescue me. And I had to change my mindset to, Lord, either you're going to come rescue me or give me the strength, give me the grace, give me the tenacity, give me the determination to keep pushing. Give me a new anointing, give me a fresh anointing. Do it all over again. And I have been saying that for like the past 2 weeks. Do it again, God. Do it again. Do it again. Again, fresh wind, new anointing, new strength, new grace, new favor, new everything. Like, just do it again. And so when it comes to singing, like I said, I'd be feeling like inadequate in that too. And just because, like, the Lord has been stretching me in different areas, and prayer has been a ministry that the Lord has just embarked on me, something that was, what do you call it? Something that the Lord gave me in private. It just, like, one day, like, they were like, yeah, pray. And I was like, first time I prayed was terrible. But this time the Lord was like, you need to pray, and you need to pray like the way that I gave it to you. So this time I prayed, and like I just been praying corporately ever since. And And it's gotten to the point where I'm like, all right, Lord, like, I'm praying for everybody else. I'm praying for myself. But it's just like, is it enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it good enough? And so, like, mind you, like, I still, like, sing on the praise team or whatever. But I just have my own set of struggles. So I'm telling the Lord, like, it's not that I don't sound like XYZ person. It's just a simple fact of I know where you want to take me. I just don't know how you want to do it. And although I'm not supposed to know that, I'm just supposed to trust the process and just let it go. But if I've learned anything in the last couple of months, it's to not trust the process, but trust the God or the God, the only God of the process. So I'm learning to just trust in the Lord with all I might, lean on to my own understanding. And so I love when people come from out of town or when I go see people out of town because they always give me a different perspective than what I'm used to. And I was reminded this weekend, someone told me, they're like, I was leading a song and they said, oh, I heard you when I walked through the door and you sounded beautifully. And it took everything in me not to cry when this individual was talking. I was like, Lord, like, you really do be hearing me. And this individual was like, I heard it. I walked into the sanctuary, and the only thing I could do was worship because, like, you were there. You were in the presence of God, and I just had to get in where I get in. You know, like, basically, I had to get in where I get in, and I just had to be there. But that's not what I'm just elaborating, you know. Like, I came in, lifted my hands, and worshiped. And that just about brought me to tears itself. But then the individual began to speak and was like, you know, there's a sound to your voice. And it just, I was like, Lord, like, all right. I really been feeling inadequate and I really been feeling like, you know, like I can't do it. And then this individual was like, there's deliverance in your voice. And so I was like, all right, Lord, like, I've been down for a long time. I've been doing like these mini like preaching sessions in my room, and the Lord's like, get up. You've been down for too long. Use your authority. Get up. Do this. Get up. Do it again. Get up. Do this, that, and the third. And so when this individual was saying what they were saying, I was just like, all right, Lord. So I ended up having to like change my commitment to the Lord. I ended up like, I've been repenting for like the past 2 weeks, but I ended up like telling Lord, like, all right, like I really got to do it again. And so I remember talking to one of the individuals, like another individual this weekend, and they were telling me, they're like, Des, like, I really do appreciate your transparency. And that literally like meant the entire world to me because like I said, like I've been feeling inadequate, like ain't nobody listening to you. And I'm not telling y'all this so y'all can feel bad for me. I'm literally telling y'all this because like the Lord told me to tell y'all, and because like I said, you're overcome by the blood of the Lamb, we're a testimony. So I just been feeling like, man, like I really can't do it. Like nobody's watching, nobody's doing this, that, and the third. And how, especially when it comes to social media, because like the world wants to form and it's like, oh, you need to do social media this way. Like your life should be portrayed this way. Me personally, I'm going to do what I want to because at the end of the day, it's my phone. I pay the bill. I run this shit because it's my stuff. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to tell me differently because, like I said, like it's my phone. Do you pay the bill? No. So are you going to control what I post? No. But will I use wisdom while I post? Yes. Yes, I will. But at the end of the day, if it's funny, it's funny. And I'm sorry. If you get offended, you just get offended. Take it to the Lord in prayer. And if the Lord decides to rebuke me later on, he will rebuke me and tell me to take it down. Other than that, just mind your business. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But when it comes to sharing stuff on social media, I'd be so hesitant because I'm like, they're going to look at me like I did something dumb or like I did something wrong, you know? And then like if I do post something, like nobody says anything until like months later. And then they're like, oh yeah, like I really love that you said that. And I'm like, what? I was like, bro, like for real, be for real right now. So it really put things into perspective for me. I was just like, all right, Lord, like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get back on it. So with this new series called Becoming ... I look so slow right now, but y'all know what I'm saying? Mind your business. Like, I look so bad, but it's okay. It's okay. The Lord was telling me, like, with this series of Becoming, it starts with me, and like this whole past 8-9 months it's 10 months actually. It's been about me on the journey to becoming the best possible version of myself. But I also want to give other people the chance to share them becoming the best possible version of themselves. Like I told y'all, like, I grew up in church. I still have my own struggles. Y'all just heard I've been feeling inadequate. I've been feeling like I can't do it. And I've been feeling like I can't make it. Although, like, I'm doing almost everything that I'm supposed to be doing. But I could be doing more spiritually to equip myself for these battles. But because, like, being carnal, yeah. Anyway, life happens. Stuff happens. But it's not necessarily the situation. It's about how you respond to the situation. And I responded poorly. It's me, Lord. Literally. Like, and I'm not even playing when I say that. Like, it literally is me. So I take full ownership and responsibility for that. So y'all pray for me as I endeavor to do what the Lord told me to do this time around again. So if you do want to share your story, if you're more than willing to share your story, I'm more than willing to give you the platform and the opportunity to do that. Just keep in mind that YouTube is my baby. It's something that I have fallen in love with when it comes to compiling videos and pictures and everything. It's become a hobby of mine to be able to put them all in one spot and to make it interesting for a viewer to see. So like I said, I'm more than willing to allow other people on here to be able to tell their testimonies. So if you want to be on this series, Becoming, just let me know. You can email me. Well, don't email me. You can DM me. It might take me 46 business days because one thing about me, I do not have any of my social media notifications on for the simple fact that I will always click on it every time I see it. So I just don't have them on. So when it comes to like DMs or Messenger or anything like that, Snapchat, any type of social media, I won't see it until I click on the app and I like physically swipe. So it might be a couple of days for me to get back to you, but I would try my best and my hardest. So, excuse me, if you'd like to be on the channel, I would love to have you. I would love to share your story, and I would love for someone else to hear your stories as well. They don't have to be as long as mine. The only thing that I ask is that you're honest, you're transparent, and that you give yourself and other people grace to be able to listen to your story, and you give yourself grace to be able to share your story, because it takes a lot of courage to do so. And then I also want you to keep in mind that it's bigger than you. It has nothing to do with the one or two negative individuals. The story is a lot bigger than you. There's no telling who the video is going to come across. So with all of that being said, thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk of now 48 minutes and 39 seconds, which is a long time. So if you're still here, hi. I love you so much, but truly, I love the Lord. Anyway, yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. Thanks for listening to my little message, my little message. But yeah, I love y'all. I hope to see y'all soon. There's no telling what type of content is gonna come, but yeah. Oh, I don't remember how I close out my videos anymore. Anyway. I'm cute. I'm weak. I'm cute. Who you know, boo? Who you know, boo? I'm gonna take pictures. Hold on.